I put a phone in the soda that's dope.
Baby on the neck getting foolish. Live on the set with the gang and Mike Cooley. I'm just coolin'. Coolin' with the gang. Coolin' with the gang. Cooley in the gang. Baby on the neck getting foolish. Live on the set with the gang and Mike Cooley. I'm just coolin'. Coolin' with the gang. Coolin' with the gang. Cooley in the gang. Nothing better than a professor. Watch him cook up coolin'. Big G, can't forget my nigga Mike Cooley. Keep it hot like a pot of carrot. Sweet as Mayberry. Question is she single? Is she single? We'll find out when I call and I be geeking off G. Laughing till I'm nauseous. Caution, they going all in. Leaving no stones unturned, no topic untouched. They love to cuss and they fuck shit up. Brother, I keep my money right. Make sure you keep that money right. Make sure you keep that money right. Glam sham, keep the jewelry tight. Make sure you keep it. We on weekly. Make sure you peep it. Matt King state of mind, the best kept secret. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. So do it. Introduce it. The gang and Mike Coolin'. We be on the neck getting foolish. Live on the set with the gang and Mike Cooley. I'm just coolin'. Coolin' with the gang. Coolin' with the gang. Cooley in the gang. We be on the neck getting foolish. Live on the set with the gang and Mike Cooley. I'm just coolin'. Coolin' with the gang. Coolin' with the gang. Cooley in the gang.
You are tuned in to the Cooley and the Gang Show on Blockworks Radio.
What's going on? What's going on? How y'all doing? Everybody good? It's Tuesday.
What's poppin'? What's poppin'?
Mac is in the building. The professor's in the building. We are here. Just a little behind. What's up, Linnea? What's up, NJ Rich? Shout out to everybody that's coming into the Instagram live room. We see you. Once you come in the Instagram live room, let us know you're there. Once you come in any of the rooms, just let us know you're here. We see it's people in here already, but we want to know who's here, so we can shout you out and thank you for joining us. Y'all are part of the early show. Hopefully you stick around for everything tonight, because we got definitely a full lineup tonight. As usual, a lot heavy news week, as we've all seen. First and foremost, what we was just talking about before we came on air. Shout out to all my people over at the SSA and federal government. Y'all got your eviction notices sent to you in the mail. You either gonna have to pay your rent or you're gonna have to move on. And I'm really curious to see how this all plays out. We've always said here that, no matter whether you choose to get vaccinated or not to get vaccinated, I believe we all agree none of us like the fact that people's rights are being taken away. But you got to do something now. A lot of y'all been out here talking a lot of cold shit to me about my little jab. Gotta do something. Huh? Show me what you gonna do.
Stand up for your rights. Come here. Who wanna?
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we're gonna see.
Who fighting with me? That's all I want to know. Who fighting with me? If I got a crew with me, I'm fighting.
Bro, I told you, Mac. The one thing I told, I'm gonna repeat it again. Just don't quit. Make them pull the whole trigger. Do not quit. If you quit, you done already made it easy.
No, I ain't quitting.
Somebody I know, they was like, they said they got they're gonna do the religious exemption. I was like, man, it's funny when black people find Jesus, ain't it, yo? I'm on the. I haven't been inside the building in a while, but I still pray. I'm very mindful, but y'all are funny when y'all find Jesus, boy. Religion come in handy at a certain point in time. It's about to be some Buddhists out there, some new Muslims is about to come out here.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Religion is used when it's useful. Shit. 365 days of the year, you don't care about religion. You find a loophole that'll stop you from doing something using religion. Oh, shit.
Over it.
It's over.
Good time.
I'll tell you this. So I wanted to see what religions actually would give you an exemption. Because what I didn't want to happen is I didn't want to say something. They'd be like, no, that don't qualify or something like that. So I said, let me look up just to see. So the two that came up was Islam and something called Church of Christ. Now, I'm gonna just tell you what it said when I looked at it. When I looked at it, what they said is the reason why Islam was against vaccines, not this one in particular, just period, was against vaccines is because a lot of them had pork byproducts in it. So they didn't want you to take the vaccines because of that. Mm-hmm. Then the Church of Christ, their thing was they believe in Christian Science, and they believe that the body is able to heal itself. You don't need to, you can use faith, prayer, and your natural body can heal itself, right? Without putting anything in it. Well, when you read on into the statement, what they've said is that because first, I'm gonna start with the Church of Christ. The Church of Christ said that they're against vaccines. However, we are aware of the current status of the world, and we don't want to be shut off to ideas because we don't want our members to believe that they're going to be looked at differently if they've decided to get the vaccine. So in a nutshell, they're not taking a stance on it one way or the other. Mm-hmm. And believe it or not, what I read also about Islam is Islam did the same thing from what I looked at. Now, somebody else might see it differently or know something different than I do. But what I looked at said that Islam took the same stance. They are saying that we understand this is how we move. However, because of the state of X, Y, and Z, we understand if you want to take the vaccines. My problem with that is, why do people always bend? Why does it always have to be a gap in there somewhere? Stand strong. How can you say, I have faith and I believe that my body's going to heal itself? However, if you think it's better for me to do it, then I'm going to go ahead along with it. Why is it a condition?
Because they don't want them boys to come down on them. Yeah. It's really disheartening, man. And I shared a video with a few people, and I actually put it on my page if anybody wants to see it on my Instagram page. And it was, in a nutshell, it was Dr. Fauci defending the fact that they helped. The scientists in Wuhan to create the virus. The United States did, right? Or it was created here, and they started doing it in China. Well, the information was good, but at the end, I'm gonna tell you what got me in the end, yo. And I don't have no problem telling you, yo, it brought tears to my eyes because at the end, Farrakhan was like, they had Farrakhan at the end, and he basically said the same thing that I just had a conversation with my father about. You guys, the older generation, have seen what white America can do. And you stood right in that line and let them put something in your arm that in your right mind, you would have never have done. You would not have done that. The only thing that explains why you did what you did is fear. There is nothing else that you can tell me of why you did what you did. If you could tell me an ingredient in there or the ingredients in there, and you looked up all the ingredients and you said, you know what, I made an informed decision, then so be it. If you told me that I got children and I gotta live, I gotta make sure that I take this so I can keep my job for my children, then so be it. But if you are a person living single on your own, you don't have no small children, it ain't about your family. It's about a selfish choice because you were afraid. Man, that shit disheartening, man. It really is. It really is. And to me, it just shows where we are as a people, man. And that shit got to change, yo. And if it ain't going to change, then we going to continue. We talking about, we just was joking about the Blacktopia thing. There is no way that we can withstand any army, anybody coming in front of us if we so easy to bend off of fear. We got to get past that a little bit, man. Got to. It's one thing to do it for a reason. It's another thing just to do it because you're afraid.
Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of decisions going to have to be made very quickly. What's the date, Matt?
I think the first one got to be by, what was it?
The 26th of November, I think.
I think that's the date that you have to finally be fully vaccinated. I think the first shot got to be done by mid-October, and then you have to have the second one done by that date, November.
And then if you don't, you get a strapping, right?
Yeah, boy.
LB in the IG he in the IG room said expeditiously. Oh man, I feel for you. Well, got mine. Better get yours. Hold up, sorry. All right, so let's move on.
Dramatic music and shit.
All right, let's move on. So the Ravens game, 66-yard field goal. You see
Nigga. I was almost dead before he kicked it. They back to that heart attack game shit.
Record breaking. So shout out to old Tucker. 66-yard field goal, baby.
But you know what? This is the second game I've seen like that, right? And the one thing that you can't miss is the fact that the defense is fucked up.
Oh yeah.
There is no reason why that should have even been the case. There is no reason why it should have come down to no miracle Hail Mary shit like that.
Right. Well, you know, like fucking
offensive line is whack too. We ain't got no offensive line either.
40%. Yeah, offensive line suck. 40% of our defense is on motherfucking injured reserve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that offensive line look horrible.
I'm gonna have to hit that link. We'll check that link out. NJ Rich. What's up, Mayberry? You in the wrong room, but okay, I get it.
But that's good. That I'm glad you put that up, NJ Rich, because that further goes with what I just said about the fact that Islam is not taking a stance on it. And I just told my homegirl the same thing. I just told her that from what I read, that Islam is not taking a stance on it. And these people, Church of Christ, they're not taking a stance on it either. See, and again, I'm going to go with what I said. I said from the beginning. If you are a historian, if you are a person that reads, if you are a person that understands what's happening in the world today, you cannot tell me that this shit don't smell like a setup. I swear you can't tell me that this shit don't smell like a setup. You may not know exactly what the setup is, but everything about this shit stinks. And it just seems like it's just so much. Every day is some new shit. Every day. It's always something different. You finding out something different. It's more added onto the bullshit that you knew before, or you thought that you knew before. Then somebody else say, surprise, we got another variant. Yo, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and they're saying that there's already 198 variants. We just haven't experienced them all yet. And I'm saying to myself, like, yo, go ahead, do your thing. I just can't do it.
Well, shit, I don't even know how to transition now, y'all.
That shit crazy.
Now I feel silly for Greg to say what I want to say and shit.
What it says, son?
See, got that.
What it says, son? You see this? See my cup?
Have a nice day.
No. You're looking at the wrong part. Look at the bottom. That's what you gotta say, son.
So I know none of y'all watched it, but like I said, we were reached out. Well, I was telling the professor earlier. We listened to feedback, so a couple people have reached out and was asking us about some different shows. I had brought up the Wonder Years reboot a couple weeks ago before it came out, and honestly, after the show, I forgot all about it. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I forgot it was coming on TV. I forgot everything. But G hit me up and asked me if I watched it, so I sat at my desk at work real quick and watched it. Did any of y'all get to watch the Wonder Years reboot? No.
I didn't even look for it.
Yeah, I don't have a review on that right now.
But let me ask you this: I do got a question. Did the little black dude that's playing this thing, did he write this show?
No, the Wonder Years was already out.
No, I mean this particular one
variant of it. I don't think so. Is that what was somebody reported?
I might have heard it wrong, but I could have swore somebody said that this is his show. It was his idea to do this.
I didn't see that. NJ Rich said he saw the Wonder Years. So what you think? I need to see one more episode.
What's up, Sharon? Thanks for joining.
For real, how you doing? I didn't hate it, but I definitely need to see another episode to fully make a full opinion on it. The first episode was pretty cool, but you know, when pilots come out, first of all, the second episode is liable not to even have the same people that was in the first episode in it. So I need to see one more. NJ Rich said it was okay. It will have to grow on me. Yeah.
Did any of y'all catch the BMF joint?
Yeah, that was next on my list. So the premiere BMF came out, loved it. I don't know what it is, but these shows that are coming out, Raising Kanan, BMF, the Wu-Tang joint. I don't know what it is about just being able to see the 80s and the 90s like just on TV. Like it's just I think that part of it is what's locking me into all of these shows right now.
And that the fashion and those shows, man, it'd be serious. It brings back some memories, boy. So you know what I've been saying lately though? Like throughout the city, I've been seeing a lot of people starting to put BBS rims back on their whip.
It's a dealership in Maryland and Baltimore that sell a lot of cars like that, like the old BMW with Auto Connect.
Yeah,
they do a lot of that.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of BBS rims on some crazy ass cars. And that's what it seems like it's headed back to.
Yeah.
Everything goes around in a circle anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, basically. So how did you feel about BMF, Mac?
I liked it. I liked it.
Did you know much like Big Meat? Are you like
not back that far from where they started from, but once they was in the game and start messing with hip hop and all that, yeah, I knew about them from that point on. But this part of it is like, nah, I ain't know nothing about this part. But they did some good casting because them dudes look like them brothers.
Oh yeah, well Meech, that's his son.
Oh, that's why. That's yeah. Because I was saying that because
that's Lil Meech.
Yeah, when they showed him with the cornrows and shit, I'm like, yo, that nigga look just like Meech. So that makes sense. That's his son.
Not the older version, but that version that's on like right now in the main.
Right now, yeah, the younger, yeah.
Yeah, that's his son.
Yeah, that makes sense then.
Yeah. But shout out to 50 Cent. Like a lot of people don't like 50 Cent, but if you really look at what he's doing and look at all the black people he's putting on that aren't really mainstream, like you said, these are like relatively new actors to the game, but they're all talented.
Mm-hmm.
Like in none of the series have I seen any actor that was new and I'm like, yeah, I'm not buying that.
Yeah,
he might sprinkle it a little bit, but that's it.
The girl that played Kanan's mother, she do like Broadway.
She's good.
Yeah.
Like
I thought she was born and raised in New York, but she's not. I think she's from like Connecticut or some crazy ass place.
So Raising Kanan or BMF?
I don't know. The way it started, no, I would personally say BMF because it's based on true events.
Yeah, I like I'm locked into the story of Raising Kanan right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm liking to see how it's developing. My boy Lulu woke up.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, they're gonna kill Lulu episode 6.
I know they couldn't have did it this early.
Shit, who did that? Game of Thrones used to do that shit. Yo, as soon as you would get locked into somebody on the Game of Thrones, yo, they ain't care who you were, yo, how many fans you had, yo, they would kill you on the Game of Thrones, yo. Like, yo, they would take your ass out, yo. Like, who watched the Game of Thrones and didn't think the father was going to be around at least till season 4?
Yeah.
They killed the father like episode 2, yo.
I never seen one episode of Game of Thrones.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, you gotta jump on that, yo.
Never. I said I was gonna binge watch it one day, but I ain't never had the time to.
Renee said Raising Kanan, yeah. I think the question may not have been fair because BMF is only on episode 1. So we might need to give it some more. Sharon said, I like BMF because I heard about Big Meech and songs, but didn't know his story. He made a lot of
Yeah.
And I don't even think it was just the money with Meech. Like they brought a lot of hoods together. And I think that was a big part of the problem. Like they were big and strong. Like Like they could have been global. Like what he put together, like it had like the government they couldn't let him continue on the way he was going.
Shit, they was almost global.
Yeah. Troy, nobody is really feeling you right now. You gotta get your Game of Thrones on.
What, the Game of Thrones? Yeah,
Game of Thrones on now. All right, so yeah, we'll keep watching. BMF, I don't know what day it comes on. I didn't watch it till Sunday. Is it a Saturday or Sunday?
It come on Sunday.
Okay, BMF and Raising Kanan stars on Sunday. The
one Raising Kanan, season finale was last week.
Oh, it's done.
Yeah.
It's when he killed the cop and shit.
No, well, you ain't. It's the episode after that.
Oh, I'm
another episode. Yeah.
Okay, then I might not know something.
They tricked you with that one, though. They tricked you with that one, Raising Kanan, because if you remember when they started previewing it,
yeah,
they showed you Angela, Ghost, Tommy as kids at the school and all of that.
Yeah.
They was gonna be in there. You don't see them throughout the whole series.
Well, I think they are coming though, because Ghost and Tommy started working for Kanan. They started working for Kanan, so they got to be in the story because they are a major part of Kanan's lives, basically. So, and why he went to jail. So they got to pop up eventually. I'm not sure what night Wonder Years comes on, but you can catch the replays on Hulu. I watched it on Hulu, so check that out. Let's keep on bopping down here. Moneybagg Yo celebrated his birthday, and everybody always hashtagging relationship goals, but I did not see a lot of people. And I don't even know if I might not even got a picture of this one. We might just got to go off of but I didn't see a lot of people post it. But did y'all see Moneybagg Yo's girlfriend Ari, or whatever her name is, gifted him 28.8 acres of land?
Yeah, boy, that was serious. But hey, is that the one that is that G Herbo baby mother? Because he was him and Tank was beefing over G Herbo baby mother. He made that song, said something about.
Her name is Aria, right? What's her name again?
Yeah, Ari.
Yeah, I think it is. Is it A-R-I?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because that's who he made. He made said something about Javante Davis. Because Javante Davis was messing with her before Moneybagg was messing with her.
Mm-hmm.
Now he caught a little attitude, try to run down on Moneybagg.
You get passed around like a cold boy once you hit a certain status, yo.
Yeah, boy.
They keep it tight, yo. It's like living in Woodmore, yo. God dang.
She doing something right, bro. She doing something right. She can buy a nigga some acres.
I'm gonna tell you though, I got a friend of mine that she was real. It's a good word for it. She was in the industry to a degree. She knew a lot of people in the industry. And one of the things that she said is the unfortunate part about women in that industry is once they deal with a guy in the industry, could you really imagine them going back to like a regular 9-to-5 guy, career guy that's only making $100,000-$200,000 a year when she's been used to dealing with a guy who's making millions? Not to mention that he's introduced her to other guys who are making millions of dollars. So she gets used to a lifestyle. These guys like her anyway, or like something about her anyway. They wind up dealing with her, and next thing you know, she's on to this dude. One of the girl that we was talking about in particular was Leah Guerrero, where she was dealing with Rick Ross. The girl was telling me, she said, yo, do you know Leah Guerrero is homeless? She really has nowhere to go. She really has no money. Like these dudes ain't really putting no money in her hand. They giving her opportunities to start businesses, but she's not really doing what she's supposed to do with it. But she has really nowhere to go. She said there's a lot of women in the industry like that. They look good on camera, and you might think that they're doing really well, but in reality, they really just moving from one dude to the next dude, just hoping that this the one.
They better start getting some land, some property or something.
I mean, but that's a hell of a birthday gift, yo. 28.8 acres, yo.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's you know, one of our homeboys did his girl got him something really nice. His girl for his birthday bought him about 10, I think like 10 or 15 shares of stock, I think in Microsoft or something like that. But see, you got to deal with a certain kind of woman to do stuff like that. Some women, they think that like so some I looked at somebody's post. I don't know if I sent it to you and that's why you brought it up. But I looked at somebody's post and what he said is old ass pussy that we've been getting all year is not a birthday gift.
Oh yeah, I did see
He
that.
he said, I want something, something else. Do something else. And that was nice. It was a nice gesture. Gift that keeps on giving.
There you go, ladies. You heard it, right? Don't give me something that I'm gonna get no matter what. Surprise me. And you can't dress it up either, just because you went to Fawcett or fucking Victoria's Secret or Sydney Rose.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, fuck that. Give me some acres. I'll take a quarter of an acre. I don't give a fuck.
Thanks.
She might give you an acre of hair on her ass. And let it be that's new.
No bueno. But Yo Gotti's whole squad is actually making good moves because you see Yo Gotti made the news too because he's now part owner of the DC United.
That's what's up.
Smart move.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hip hop artist Yo Gotti among 4 new DC United investors. I think he brought in he said what does he got about how much did he buy it for? I saw somewhere it was like 750 million.
Yeah, it was something like that. Yep.
Yeah. That was a smart investment. Soccer. Most of us do not think about soccer, but soccer is very popular nationwide.
Yep. It's a lot of money in soccer, a whole lot of money. And when you think about what is it, I think it's the World Cup.
Yeah.
That event in itself, the money that generates, ridiculous.
Most definitely. That was a power move right there. So shout out to Yo Gotti for that move right there. And another one for art, with the 28.8 acres. Yeah, we like to see that. Black people doing big things,
It's a lot of people that's invested into teams. I think Usher invested into the Hawks. I know Nelly invested into a team.
I remember that,
Yeah, D Wade just bought into a team.
And I think he did it. His was he did some. What was that? I did see that because I'm like, what team is that? What's up, G?
Oh, what up, BB?
What's good?
Nigga, I'm late, yo. It took me 30 minutes to put a contact in.
God damn.
You don't like glasses?
D Wade buys ownership stake in the Utah Jazz. I didn't really. Okay, I don't know why I thought it was something else. I didn't realize it was a Jazz. I thought it was something else. His investment was Dwayne Wade made a huge investment in the $1.6 billion Utah Jazz. Joining minority owner Ryan Smith, Dwayne Wade is synonymous with the Miami Heat as a player, but he's now part owner of a different NBA franchise. Yeah, shout out to Dwayne Wade too. Yeah, no doubt. What we going?
He ain't gonna do shit with it, but buy dresses for his son.
There it is. There it is. We ain't gonna make it long on this YouTube page.
Mr. Should I call you Mr.?
That was my bad.
I'm done.
I'm sorry. That was my bad. I should. Don't give him no more of the rest of. Oh, that's not fair, China. Don't do that. Y'all made me lose. The View. So the TV show The View, which I never have seen in my life, but they made the news this week because I believe the vice president was on, and in the midst of the show, 2 of the hosts were rushed off due to positive COVID tests. So in the middle of the show, they pull him off set.
Mm.
So a lot of people were saying it kind of looked crazy and staged, like kind of one of them things that kind of push certain agendas. Because the next day they came out and said that it was a false positive, so they really did not have COVID. But one of the hosts that was pulled off was very vocal in her stance on the treatment of the Haitians coming across the border. So it's believed that they didn't want her to press down on the vice president about the treatment of Haitians. And those of you who have not seen the photos online of the sheriffs and the border patrol on horses with whips chasing down the Haitians as they come across the border, a lot of people are wanting answers from the presidency. And you had to make your own speculations of why they pulled her off the show. Of if this is really true.
Yeah.
But like
they probably heard her say something. Well, I'm gonna ask Kamala when she get here. Kamala probably was like, "Get that bitch up out of there before I get in there, because I ain't trying to talk about this shit."
And you got to make it look good. You can't just pull her by herself. So you go grab who's sitting next to her. That way it looked like they gave it to each other. So they definitely came and escorted them right off the set. I'm not even sure if the vice president even still came on the show, but they definitely pulled them off. But then they said that the tests were false positives. So have y'all seen the photos of the Haitians coming across the border and kind of been part of that?
Yeah. They've been on that cowboy shit.
Yeah, saying it.
I think they had some whips and shit too.
Yeah. You know, the funny thing is, you first of all, I don't know about y'all, but where the fuck do you buy that many whips and just have more hand to be whipping shit? That's the first thing. Second thing is, and I know that they got cattle and things like that down there, but I didn't know they still was whipping fucking cattle.
Yeah, I didn't even like.
The second thing is, because of how sensitive the world is today, who gave the order to do that dumbass shit? Like, yo, everybody need to be lined up and slapped, just right down in the row. Like, what the fuck? Why did you think that was a good idea? What was intelligent about that decision? Period. I know you didn't think that it was not gonna get on social media. That shit looked like some runaway slave shit.
Yeah. That shit do look crazy.
Terrible, man.
And then when the what was that? The governor of Texas, he came out and he did a little speech on the way that he thought about, not particularly this, but he in a nutshell said, if you thinking of coming to Texas to come through our border, I'm telling you now that we ain't having it. Like, you're not coming through here, you're not going nowhere through here. You're gonna be met with their department. I guess they figure that's how we got them niggas before. We're gonna get them again the same way.
And of course, the big question is, why is nobody else coming across the border treated the same way? I also heard that, you know, if you're coming from, you know, Spanish speaking places, like, they're not even really requiring, like, are they testing and requiring vaccines for those folks?
Probably not.
Well, fuck the vaccine thing. I was upset the fact that you don't want the Mexicans over here, you don't want the Haitians to come here, but it was okay for the Afghan people to make it through. What's that shit about, though? Like, how is it that you gonna open up for the Afghanistan refugees, but you don't want to service the motherfuckers that's in your backyard?
Mm-hmm.
That's why, and I ain't never heard from it. When Trump started talking about a wall, I was all for a wall, and it wasn't on no rate, like, because I have been in industries, like I was in the trucking industry, and I watched how, you know, certain, you know, races can alter business, I'll say. So I'm kind of with G. Like, how about we fix us first before we just kind of open it up? Because at a certain point, like, we just, like, it's whoever want to come, just come on. Like, and we already got a homeless issue, but I don't know. Like, I just look at it differently. Like, let's get our shit straight before we start worrying about everybody else.
So what that's called is a nationalist. nationalists are more concerned with their own shit first, and then globalists are worried about everything else in the world first, and then come back home. Nationalists are more concerned about in-house and then move outside. So I don't know if I was talking to you or not, Cooley, about my thoughts on immigration and things like that. Now, do I agree with the way that Trump handled the people that were immigrants here? No, I don't. But what he did do was he exposed the issue that we should have been addressed a long time ago, and still hasn't been addressed yet. It's still not a conversation. Now, obviously, we have bigger fish to fry right now, other than the immigration issue. But again, it is something that needs to be discussed. There has to be some sort of plan in place. Like, I was surprised, like when this whole immigration conversation came up, I think we talked about it on the show before. Y'all do know it's something called a lottery, right? Where by chance, there are certain immigrants that are just basically like pulled out of a hat, and they're allowed to just enter into the United States. And I found that out through a podcast. There was a podcast I was listening to. Then I looked it up. There is something called I think it's called like an immigration lottery. Immigration lottery. Yeah. But there is a problem. There is definitely a problem when it comes to immigration. The sad part is, y'all, it's one of those things where I don't know, I wouldn't know what to do, because the sad part is there's people out here really struggling. There's people out here dying, man. People living in subpar conditions. They don't have anything to eat. And you're talking about children, man. A lot of these, you're talking about a whole lot of children that are born into these situations that had no chance. They're being misused. They're being put in these organizations that they don't want to be in, but they have nothing to eat. They have nowhere to go. They have no parents. Their parents might have been killed. And now they're at our door. And what you going to say? You can't come in? Typically, the United States are lenient with children when it comes to children, and they do allow children to come in, typically. But how often are you going to see a child by themselves get that far to the door? They're going to come with somebody, even if that somebody wasn't with them in the beginning, because that somebody knows that the child is going to get in. You know, so it is a fucked up situation, but there has to be a conversation. There has to be something that we can do, and it needs to be talked about, and it can't be, pushed under the rug and we just hope it goes away type of thing. Trump was on to something when he talked about that wall. People don't like to hear that shit, but he was on to something. Does it make sense? Probably not, because of shit. If these motherfuckers was digging underground, what you think they're gonna dig under the wall? It don't make sense. But at least it gives an opportunity for the conversation. That's it.
So is the treatment of the Haitians Trump's fault too?
Fuck no. Hell, and I heard them try to do that. I heard them try to say that because of something that he put in place, that was his fault. Nah, man. People that own people. He's not even in office anymore. If you are the president, if you are the governor, if you are the mayor in a particular area, the mistreatment of the people in your area is your responsibility. People put too much credit in the president's hand. If I'm the mayor of Baltimore City and my city is failing, I'm gonna say the president is the reason why my city is failing. I'm gonna say the president is the reason why drugs are plaguing my community. I don't think that he has anything to do with that. That comes down to my direction. That comes to my playbook. That's like we all watch football. Y'all watch it more than I do, but we all watch football, right? That's like saying the owner of the team is responsible for whether or not the team is successful. They don't fire the owner. In some cases, that situation, it can be the owner's fault though. So you can't use that scenario. If the owner don't want to spend any money on no fucking player, then the owner's fault that we ain't fucking winning no championship. So you can't use that. Give me another one. Let me ask you a question. Do you believe that anybody can be trained? Do you think that what's the word I'm looking for? Not leaders, but do you think that anybody can be trained to be successful? Not trained. What? Why not? So you're born successful? No, not so much born successful. I mean, you can show a motherfucker the way and they still fuck it up. But they can't be trained. But they could go the other way and be successful.
Well, you can't train. You can show a motherfucker ways to be successful, but you can't train a nigga to be great. You know what I mean? Like, I can train a motherfucker to work this job.
I hate that cup, yo.
The cup.
I hate that cup, yo. GC's cup, yo.
You seen it? You seen it when I put on IG before?
Oh yeah.
But
I
understand what you're saying. So you can lead the horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
But you can't make that motherfucker drink.
So
you know what I mean?
Can give you all the tools, but the success is still based upon you and what you do with everything that I've instilled in you.
All day, every day. It's motherfuckers that train for jobs and do all kind of shit for jobs and get to the jobs and still fuck them up, or they still don't get it. So, like I said, I mean, I'm with you, but in that situation, that the scenario that you given, it don't work for this. I'm not holding the mayor of a city accountable for the number of drugs and the bodies and all that other shit that's going on, but that police chief that's in that city that's not making numbers, and the fucking crime rate is going up, and the death rate is going up, and the homicide rates is going up. Fuck, I don't even need the police if that's the case, or your high paid ass police chief. So why am I paying you all this money if all you doing is giving me the same fucking answers that the professor's giving me, Matt's giving me, and Mike's giving me? I can figure this shit out on my own. So I don't really need him. So yeah, it's some people that you have to point the finger at. I'm not saying we pointing the finger at the right motherfucker, but we definitely pointing the finger at the wrong ones.
I think that in order for these things to change, that people in the shortest distance have to take responsibility. The people that are in control that in the shortest distance have to take responsibility for whatever it is. I really believe that the reason why I asked that question about can anybody be trained to be successful is because if that is the case, or if anybody can be trained, then you can really get anybody that has the capacity to learn to do damn near anything. It really comes down to their willingness to want to do it. So if that is the scenario, you now have a question of, okay, so who is at fault? It has to be the person giving direction, because maybe your directions are bad. If you are the person doing if I'm the person training you guys, and you guys go out there and you fail, they don't fire you. They want to find out what was your directions like. Let me see your curriculum. Let me see that's why they're talking about police getting more training. Who's training them? They're not training themselves. They're going to a different person to train them, because they want to know if you're only coming in here 5 times and you're going back out there to do work, maybe you haven't had enough instruction. Maybe you need some more instruction. And if you're not good enough to follow the instruction, then yeah, we need to get rid of you and put somebody else into that position. However, that's not always the case, because the instructor, the police needing more training, the person that's doing the instruction is another fucking police officer who's probably been there for 30 years as opposed to a motherfucker that's been there for 5 years. So now the same instruction that the police officer that's doing the instruction got 20 years ago is the same shit. So it's the same revolving door. It's the same shit. It's the same shit. Same shit. Even in your job, they come to you because you know something more than Craig and receiving know. So they go ask the professor. The professor will tell you what to do. Now I gotta learn from you, and your shit ain't right either, because the same thing that the teacher taught you, you be like, well, fuck it, you don't need this, you don't need that, you don't need this. Just do this, and that'll get the job done. So too many niggas that don't care. Let me give you.
It is. Like, for example, at my job, I had one of the high ups come to my graduation class, and in front of the whole class, he said to them that if you don't succeed in this job, you're not to blame. I'm blaming the managers, because they are here to give you guidance and the knowledge that you need to do this job. So it is some people that believe that if a person fails, it's on the person instructing them. But also, I've personally seen that you could take a motherfucker with the same learning capacity and teach them exact same thing, and if one of them not interested in it, they're not going to perform as well as the other that's really dedicated to it. So it's all about the person itself in their motivation, whether they succeed in what they do, no matter what the teachings was. Because if it's plain and simple for you, you should be able to pick it up and apply it. It's all about how, if you want to apply it.
See, and that's my thing. And I'm with you, Professor. I totally agree with you. I'm just being the devil's advocate in this. But the problem is, it's more shitty people out here than it is great people or good people that's willing to fucking learn or to participate or want to be great. Niggas don't want to be great no more. Even I even see it with the kids. Like, nobody wants to be great. Niggas just going through the motions. They just want to be here, or they're just here just because.
I'm
only here so I don't get fired.
That's a great point you brought up. So why is it that the children are like that?
I don't know.
Because of their parents.
No. I can't say that either. I can't say that. And I was, as a parent, I could argue that, but I've seen fucking parents that are great and they're teaching their kids to be great, and the kids are still just like fucking up, or they still just don't give a fuck. So like, and it's weird to me. I don't know. Everybody wants to blame it on COVID. Everybody wants to blame it on Trump. I don't know, but kids, parents, people, pets don't even do the same shit no more. Like,
all right, let's I'm gonna let y'all put a bow on it.
So look, this is the last thing I wanted to say about the training thing, just real quick. So y'all know that I train. I'm a trainer for the state. So I teach people on a daily basis. Because we are now in this work from home status, the local departments are not interested in us training like we used to. The training I used to do took a month and a half to complete. We have chopped a month and a half down to 3 days.
Oh,
3 days.
Shit.
And I'm talking about from 9 o'clock to 4 o'clock. That's how long the training is. We don't even stay till 4. We normally gone by 2:30, 3 o'clock every day, right? So you ask yourself, all right, if that's what you've just done, how successful are the workers, or how good are the workers? They're only as good as the information that we gave them, because we only gave them 3 days worth of work, as opposed to a month and a half of information, or 3 days worth of training, as opposed to a month and a half of information. So I go back to the same thing. You can't blame the workers for our lack of having a plan on how they're supposed to do their job. They're only doing up to what we've given them. All we've given them is balls and knuckles. All we're saying is, look, flip your keyboard open, push these buttons, and move forward. That's really all we're saying. We're not saying to them, hey, look, when you run into this scenario, this is how you're supposed to handle this. When you meet these people and they act this way, this is how you're supposed to do this. Not to mention that they're working from home too in a lot of cases. So guess what they got to deal with? Their kids running around tearing the fucking paint off the wall, the dog pissing on them and shit, and somebody knocking at the door, and the mailman come. They might be getting some head while they working, and anything. So you got all these different variables, and then you expect them to go out there and perform their task. The police department had to cut their training down. You know why? Because they have a lack of police officers. So they no longer want to train their police officers for an extended period of time. They need people on the street. They still have a shortage in police officers now. Baltimore City is starving for police officers right now. But the ones that they got short-term training. They're just saying, here, take this gun, take this mace, and this stun gun. If a nigga act up, don't do nothing. If he touch you, spray him with mace. If he reach in his pocket and pull out a stick of gum, bust him. That's the end of it. They ain't even going through all the other motions of things, because we're just in a, I just had a conversation with somebody. I said, we are in a microwave society. This society is everything right now, quick. We're not trying to wait for it. We're not savoring the flavor. We're not trying to figure this shit out. We're not trying to work through the problems. We just want everything to happen right at this moment. And if it doesn't happen right at this moment, we don't want to have nothing to do with it. But we go along with life just trying to figure these things out. And I'm not saying that that's not how life is, but you need some instruction. If you don't have the right instruction, you're going to continue to have these problems. We're going to continue to have these problems. I'll say that.
All right, well, you're tuned into the Cooley and the Gang Show live every Tuesday night, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern. Everybody take a second, hit that like button, hit that share button, show some love. It's free, $99. Tell a friend about the Cooley and the Gang Show. Shout out to everybody in the IG live room. Shout out to everybody on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter, which is back up. Twitter was acting funny for a little while, but it's back up and running now. What's up? Dr. Will is in IG Live. I see Songbird is in there. Shout out to China Dolls. We appreciate all of y'all. I just got a text message from okay. That was my fault. Texted me, thought he was saying something about the show. Marilyn Mosby. So I think G froze. Marilyn Mosby doubled down on her stance, and I believe we talked about this a while. What'd you say, Professor? You was muted. Oh. Yo, what you say, yo? Talking to me? I thought you were talking to me, yo.
Yeah, Marion Kai, that's right. The city state's attorney, Marilyn Mosby, standing by that policy that we've seen talked about several times now about not prosecuting some low-level crimes, which do include some drug offenses. We've heard community members raise questions about it inside this meeting that's still happening behind me. The state's attorney standing by that policy, saying that the mayor and the police commissioner both agree and that this new working relationship and partnership will help turn the page in Baltimore's future and make change a reality.
The city needs results.
One key to the city's new group violence reduction strategy includes Baltimore's top prosecutor, City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby, who's saying the last 7 years of her time in office have been challenging due to instability in leadership.
In my time in office, I've worked with 5 different police commissioners and 4 different mayors.
And the new leadership with Mayor Brandon Scott, Mosby says, has brought a better working relationship between her staff, the mayor's team, and Baltimore Police Commissioner Michael Harrison.
This time can be different. This time must be different. This time will be different.
But at the crux of that difference is Mosby's policy to stop prosecuting crimes she has deemed low level, like drug possession. And based on data from the city state's attorney's office, roughly 50% of narcotic cases this year have been dropped, compared to 30% last year. Mosby says it's a philosophical view the mayor and the police commissioner are all aligned with, but some people in the community are asking questions.
It's very difficult to translate what you're saying into their daily lives when they walk outside, when they have to step over things that they don't want to step over. It's tons of drug traffic.
A concern Mosby has dismissed, reiterating drug dealers will be prosecuted. But as the violence continues, homicide rates tallying up, shooting victims found in streets almost every day, the connection is clear.
Drug dealing fuels violence in this city, right? Guns, drugs, murder, that comes with the territory.
But the policy to not prosecute for some drug crimes remains in place. Now, I wanted to ask City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby specifically about her drug policies and how that fits into this new group violence reduction strategy. But I was told she would not be taking questions from us, and therefore we can ask those direct questions. And also, her spokesperson says any questions we do have can be answered by her opening remarks. We're live in Baltimore.
So,
she said, I'm not answering none of you niggas' questions.
Yeah, basically.
All you bitches. Hey, yo, so listen, I was hoping that this young lady was in the Instagram live room because she's had direct dealings with Mosby, and she has a lot to say about Mosby. But I don't see her in there, and if she is, hopefully she'll say something. So, but look, I brought this up one time before. There's something called the broken window theory, and whenever you guys get an opportunity to check it out, just look it up for yourself. And what it essentially is saying is that when you have dirt, destruction, graffiti, broken windows, abandoned buildings, drugs, liquor bottles, trash, panhandling, anything that is perceived as low level or destructive, and you have a lot of it in a specific area, there is no mistake that that's why there's high crime in that particular area. If you ever pay attention to where the high crime areas are, they all look alike. It is always the same. And if you ask yourself, why is it the same? Why is the crime levels the same? Start looking at the surrounding areas. Not prosecuting drug crimes and or low-level drug crimes or whatever they perceive to be low-level drug crimes gives the impression that there is nobody in control. If I can run out of control on a lower level, why do you think that I'm gonna continue to stay at that level? Who goes out selling nickel bags thinking they're gonna sell nickel bags for the rest of their life? That shit just sound dumb. That don't even sound like an intelligent conversation. And see, another thing about that is when you have people in your cabinet, you may not be from the streets, but you know people that are in the streets. When you have people in your cabinet and you make these types of statements, they should be ready to correct you and say, hey, look, no, that's not a way to go, because these people one day are going to be kingpins. You've given them enough fuel to be able to become something bigger, because now you're saying, okay, as long as you're only selling a gram, which depending on what we're talking about, a gram of dope is I mean, not great money, but it's enough, as opposed to a gram of weed. But if you're only prosecuting everything over a gram and they're just selling a gram of dope, but per whatever, however they want to work it out, they can make a lot of money in a short period of time. That little bit of money they just got off that gram, again, do you think that they're going to continue to just sell grams? It's going to increase over time. And as it increases, they're going to be stronger. And one thing my father told me that I have to agree with, this was early when I was getting in trouble. He said, Rudy, if you keep hustling, one day you're going to have to take somebody's life. And he's not lying. At some point, it comes down to that. Because if you don't, then you're going to get tried all the time. So these guys, they're out in the street, they're hustling. I don't care how much they're selling. At some point, they're going to be put in a position where they're going to have to take somebody's life or stop selling. They're making so much money, at least in their mind, they're not going to stop selling. So the only choice is to take somebody's life. So now we have progression of crime, and it's in these areas. These areas are bleeding out badly. The police department is afraid. That's really what it is, because the reality about policing is police only work if the people want to be policed. If they do not want to be policed, you cannot do it. There's no way you can do it. And right now, society does not want to be policed for whatever the reasons are. They don't want to be policed, so you can't control the people. And on top of that, you're saying, well, as long as it's under a certain amount, then, it's no big deal. If I'm a police officer, I'm not even going to fuck with you, because I'm saying to myself, you're going to record me, you're going to say I did something to you, and you're going to go to court and get off because you only had a couple grams.
Well, we got a question in the IG live room. So shout out to Nels. Nels says, but continuing to go after low level and getting nowhere, what's the point?
The point is setting an example. If you steal if you steal a piece of candy out the store and nobody says anything to you, shit, one day you'll have your own store. You'll have your own store with all the candy you just stole out of it. But if you start saying, hey, look, you can't do that. Like, we're not going to tolerate that. It's not about going to jail. It's about setting a stance. It's about standing for something, saying that we're not going to tolerate ignorance. We're not going to tolerate disrespect in my community. Like, I'll give you an example. Low-level crime. Your grandmother lives on Curry Street. My grandmother lived on Curry Street once upon a time. Curry and Pressman, in between Pressman and Lawrence. That part of Curry Street was never really that bad, but it started to get really bad, right? Now, something low level, breaking somebody's car window, that's a misdemeanor. It's really just malicious. It's just a waste of time. Now, you've broken somebody's window. What do you think their response is going to be? You think they're happy about that? You think that that's okay with them? They're just going to let it go, call the police, and that's going to be the end of it. What about when they see you tomorrow? Is it going to be an issue? You're selling drugs in the community. Let's say you're only selling a gram of weed or dope. Doesn't really matter. What you're going to do is you're going to start to bring crowds into that community. You're going to bring crowds of people that's trying to purchase. You're going to bring crowds of people that's trying to take whatever it is that you have or they think that you have. You're going to bring violence into that community. You're destroying that community, even with just a gram. It's not about the amount. It's about the behavior. It's about the mentality. It's about the fact that we've accepted so much of nothing from so many people for so long that now they think that they have power. We've seen it. Like we all watch movies. We watch these movies like, you watch Raising Kanan. You watch Power. You've seen The Wire. what's the other joint? The Corner. You've seen how these low-level guys, at some point, what do they become? A whole lot bigger than we thought that they were going to become, because they had a bigger picture in mind. They had a blueprint. They knew that at some point this nickel and dime shit was going to end. I was going to be the king of New York. I was going to be the king of Baltimore. I was going to be the king of whatever. And that's exactly what they did, because nobody was paying them attention. They were more so of a nuisance at one point, but now they're a fucking problem.
Nell says the example has been set for 30 years. It's more so getting the community to take back their neighborhoods. Prison system has been revolving door and wasted money. That was what I was going to. He also says, fam, I've seen this person, not on TV. This is already going on. I've seen this in person, not on TV. This is already going on.
But the thing
what about the communities? Like, when do we put some sort of, is it fair to put onus and responsibility on the people in the community, in the neighborhoods?
They can't.
Yeah, but I mean, on the same token, that they should be willing to step up and do something. Because people don't want to walk out their doors looking over their shoulders.
Especially if I'm paying mortgage to live here. Like,
let me tell you something, Mike. Let me tell you this, yo. And I think I told you this story. When I was living over there on Cardenas, right? Yeah. I was standing in my kitchen, and I kept hearing this little tapping noise, and I was trying to figure out what the fuck it was. I opened my back door, and these little kids was throwing rocks at my dog. Now, I came outside, and I said some things I shouldn't have said, right? In hindsight. And now when I say little kids, I mean they was knee high to a grasshopper. So they were small. But here's my thing. I work hard for the little bit of shit that I have, right? I don't want you to destroy it, and I don't want you to put me in a position where I have to spend more money to get it right, to fix it, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know how many times that was going to happen before something extreme happened afterwards. I don't care how old they are. I don't care what was going on. I'm just not going to have it. And there are a lot of people that think the same way that I do. I work hard for what I have. I'm not going to let you come and destroy it. I don't want you to destroy it. But here's the problem with that. The problem is, once you take that stance or that approach, you now have to worry about the other people in the community that don't agree with how you see things. Now you become a victim every time you come home. I have a homeboy that had property in Baltimore City, and he had to sell his house. He had to sell his house because the people that were he was renting it out to said, man, I love the house. He said, but I can't keep these dudes from getting off the steps. He said, I come home, I got to walk through them and say, excuse me. He said, I don't want to say nothing to him because I live here. And he said, I don't want to get beat up. He's an older man. What is he supposed to do? He may have been living in that community for years, but these young guys are different now. And I know we say that every generation. We say that these, the youth is different. The youth is different. But when I say that they're different in these days, I'm talking about the way that they think. They have no problem putting a bullet in granddad's ass. They have no problem putting a bullet in little DeMarco's ass. Little DeMarco, 5 years old, can't even do nothing. I sat on my grandmother's porch one day when I was in elementary school, and I saw a little boy that couldn't have been no more than 10 years old kick an old man in his ass because the old man accidentally kicked his bike as he walked by because the old man can't even lift his feet up off the ground. And this is what I'm saying. This is the mentality of the people that we're encountering today. So once upon a time, when you had men that were around and everybody was standing together and nobody was folding, and you had homeowners, that was a different conversation. But now you have a lot of people that are renting their property. They don't really care. It's short term to them. They can move it any day, and they feel like this. I got to come in this house every day. And if I say something to Lil Yo, I got to worry about Lil Yo and his homeboys every day. And that's the last thing that they want to do. That's the last thing that they want to be involved in. One of my reasons for moving was because every day I came home, I had to make life decisions. I told my father the same scenario. The easiest way for me to get to my house is to drive past my house and go down the next street. But every time I go down that next street, I got to drive by this corner store. And when I drive by this corner store, it's 100 guys standing at the corner store. And all I kept saying to myself is, Rudy, how many times you going to do it? And I swear to you, I had this conversation every time. How many times you going to do this? One day you're going to drive past this corner store and these niggas going to be standing in the street and they ain't going to move. How long is going to happen before you bust their ass? How long is that going to happen for you? And I don't know. It might happen 100 times. It might happen for 4 years, 10 years, 20 years. But one day, I'm gonna get out the car and the situation is gonna turn different. And now my life is gone because of them. So what do I do? It's a fucked up scenario. It puts everybody in a bad place.
And then with stuff like that too, it's like they make these younger guys feel like then they can do whatever they want to do because you're not prosecuting these low-level crimes. For example, at the Ravens game the other night, I'm coming out to the concession stand. It's just a 3 dudes just standing out by the concession stand, breaking the blunt, rolling up, and sparked it right there. Just standing, and like it's 100,000 people moving around in there, and they don't give a fuck. They loud, man, fuck this and fuck that, and just inside of the stadium. You know what I mean? And they got security, they got police, and they not doing shit. So it's not just even going to stay in the communities. It's going to be an issue once they start posting up in these white people's communities, and they start selling shit there. And
no, they ain't gonna make it past the line. You ain't gonna make it past the line.
Then it's going to be an issue then. But it's just like you said, I'm not gonna get locked up for a blunt, so I'm gonna smoke this shit whatever I want to. And they just feel like they can do whatever they want.
So Nell said, shout out to Nels, keeping it real lit in the IG live room. Nell says, so basically at the end of the day, you got to stand up for what's yours, or we giving up the block. Can't fight with the inevitable. But this is all going on already while we are prosecuting small crimes. So basically what he's saying is, I guess let's just see how it works. So obviously they're saying it's working, but they're saying, we won't see the major results of it. It's a uphill battle. I guess my question is, so after you get a hold on the high level, do you then double back and follow up on all those charges to the low level? Or is it just kind of...
They probably looking at it like if you cut the head off, the body going to fall. So they probably thinking if they get the big drug dealers, then the lower levels won't even get the drugs flooded into it. But, that's bullshit. But shit, you take down one, somebody else going to pop up and take that place. Just like Professor was saying. You got a neighborhood, you doing this, you doing that, you making money. Somebody going to come in there and try to take what you got. Yeah, if you look at like just the history of drug dealers, it's always somebody. Even in the mafia or something, somebody get tired, they want to move up, they gonna kill the bigger dude to take their position. This shit been going on for 1,000 years.
Yeah, I don't think that there is one answer to it. I think it's a collaboration that has to happen. I do think the community does play a part in it. But I also believe that just like if you go to a party, if you know that it's going to be a possibility of some trouble, you hire more security. If you know that Baltimore City is struggling, then you need to have more police officers walking that beat. You need to have more police officers creating a stir in the community. But what you've done is, what the community has done for the most part, they have taken that away. They have taken that possibility away. Now we talked about this one time before. I'm not one of those people that agree with taking the power away from the police. I don't. And the reason why I don't is because I'm realistic about it. I'm not going to try to make up things be the way that they are. They're something different than what it is. The only reason why a lot of us left the teenage years unscathed is because of Officer Dan or Officer Jones. Not because they were our friend, but because when Officer Jones came out there, Officer Jones said, get the fuck off the block. If you on the block tonight, you going to jail. Hands down. And he did it. He definitely did it every time. And people understood that. And sometimes Officer Jones might go outside of his badge. Officer Jones, he just might put his hands on somebody. He might, but we had an understanding of that. We knew how that shit went. So certain things just didn't happen. See, now
then Officer Jones then knew how far to take it.
Well, yes, he did. He knew how far to take it, but he also knew that the community wasn't on no tattletale shit either. So now we're in a scenario where everything is recorded. As soon as the police pull up, people pull out their phones because they understand it, and it's a new world. And I'm not oblivious to police officers abusing people and things like that. I mean, that's nothing new. But truth be told, like I brought up one time before, I know a whole bunch of people that's been locked up before. I ain't never heard none of them tell me that they didn't get the ass whipping they deserve. I'll tell you that. I mean, I don't know nobody that personally got fucked up like that for no reason. Does it happen? Of course it happens. I'm not retarded, but that's far and few between. That's like saying that you're gonna pull a diamond out of an ocean. I mean, yeah, it happens, but nah, not likely. So I just feel like we were not in a good place in the 90s. We weren't in a good place in the 2000s or the 80s. But where we are right now is fucking horrible. And if you look at where we are right now, what is the difference? The difference is we have put cuffs on the police officers. And I'm just talking about that for right now. I'm not even getting into all the other little pieces that go into place. But just as far as the police officers are concerned, we've put cuffs on the police officers, and we're still asking them to do their job, even though we're saying if you do your job is in jeopardy. So, and by the way, when I say do your job is not always by the book either, just for the record. And that's just my opinion. People can, you can say what you want to say. But if Officer Jones whipping my son's ass is the reason why my son is off that block tonight, I take that. I take that. And me and Officer Jones will have that conversation. But my son being out on the block, being able to sell grams all night because he only going to get a slap on the wrist. He ain't going to get no charges or nothing. He going to just give me that and go on home. I know what's going to become of my son at some point or another. It's inevitable. It's how it happens.
All right, well, we're going to move on to the next thing. Nell says, number one, got to find things for these kids to do, but we still came outside. I was one of those kids. He said, when we were talking about getting fucked up by the police, he said, me, broken jaw. So shout out to Nels and shout out to everybody in the IG live room. Shout out to everybody on Facebook. You tuned into the Cooley and the Gang show live every Tuesday night, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Nels, don't forget I said something about you coming on the show too. We got to get a date together and bring you on and let you really show the professor what it is. Motherfucker around here to know shit. Bring Nels in here, be my rabbi.
What happened to the rec centers and shit like that? Name somewhere in Baltimore City where there's a rec center.
They got rid of it. The only one that they had that I knew of. Now they still have a couple here and there, but the only one that they had that I used to go to was the Powell Center that was in Canfield. But they got rid of a lot of them. They got rid of the YMCAs. They used to allow children to come in there and hang around and learn something. They had adults in there that could assist them. But yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was funding cuts. They didn't have, well, the city said that they didn't have any money. But it's always amazing to me how the city say they don't have any money, but they can give you a fucking stimulus for $1 gazillion and pay you every month if you got a child or two childs or 2 children or 100 of them and pay you every month just because. But they don't have no money though.
Right. And they can pay for CIAA to come down here.
Yeah. It's just a level of importance. It's just that what they put importance in. But I will say this, just like what Nels was saying about the community taking some sort of responsibility, I don't think it's just a one-sided conversation. It's not always about the violence, it's about the upkeep too. If you believe that the rec centers are important, how come you haven't poured any money into the rec centers in your community? The city don't have to do it, you can do it. We buy buildings all the time, and all we're looking to do is throw parties in them. Instead of throwing a party in it or creating an event space, create a rec center. You own the building, you're paying the mortgage on the building, create a rec center. Have some programs in that building. Have some things where children can come in there and, do their homework, and have some adults that are willing, that are school teachers that want to get off and want to be involved in the children's lives and help them out. That can be done too.
You can do both. Rec center by day.
Parties.
Something strange to change that thing.
But see, and that's the thing. It's like, how many people can you get to volunteer their time? Like everybody out here saying, "What's in it for me? What's in it for me? What I'm getting out of it?" Nobody would just volunteer.
Y'all do that shit to me every Tuesday. Had me sitting around this motherfucker waiting every Tuesday. What's in it for me?
I mean, there are people that really want to be involved. They want to be involved in their heart, but they want to be involved in their heart. But everybody has something going on, and that something going on a lot of times is more than their level of importance in the community. That's how a lot of people. I asked you guys a question when it came to voting, and the question I asked you is, what makes you vote? And I said what it should be is the long-term effect for your children's children, right? What most of the people said, even in the comments, said, I vote for what's going to affect my family right now. What is affecting my family right now? So if that mindset, if you have that mindset when it comes to that, when it comes to these types of organizations, your attitude is still going to be the same. You're more concerned with the right now. And right now, you need to make sure that you get some rest because you got to be to work at 6 o'clock in the morning for your family so you can go to work in the morning. Or you got to watch that show. You got to watch Power and Kanan and shit. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, there it is. There it is. Yo was trying to ease his way into it. New York City. New York City dropped the hammer last night.
Leading with our mandate, which strikes at midnight tonight, when everyone is expected in a hospital in the state of New York or a healthcare facility to have been vaccinated. I will be signing an executive order to give me the emergency powers necessary to address these shortages where they occur. That's going to allow me to deploy the National Guard, who are medically trained, deploy people who've been retired, who may have had a license lapse, bring in people from elsewhere. That is not my first position, though, my friends. My desire is to have the people who've been out there continue to work in their jobs, work in them safely, and to all the other healthcare workers who are vaccinated, they also deserve to know that the people they're working with will not get them.
So, New York City dropped a mandate. Healthcare workers had to be vaccinated, or they were basically just like, the federal government said, were losing their employment. You see, she even said, she's not even worried about the show. She already got the National Guard coming in. They gonna fill in. Damn.
I think it's gonna work for a while, and I still believe that this is gonna be something that we're gonna have to deal with for a short period of time. And I feel like that all of a sudden things are gonna just pop back into the way that things were before. And the reason why I say that is because I just think this is all just a scare tactic to make everybody get vaccinated. That's just my opinion. You're always going to have casualties in these scenarios. You're always going to have people that's going to fall on the sword. And the fact that it is healthcare workers, don't devalue that it's healthcare workers. By the way, I know that some people are going to say, yeah, but a healthcare worker could be somebody that's bringing the instruments into the room. Yeah, that's a part of being a healthcare worker. But what about the doctors? What about the nurses? In order for them to have to bring other staff in, that means that there are going to be some doctors and some nurses that are not going to have a job because they decided not to get vaccinated. That speaks volumes. That speaks volumes about this whole vaccination process and why they don't want to take it. These are the people that are educated in whatever it is that's in that vaccine. They have some level of understanding. Now, I do know that some people that work in those fields, they don't necessarily read anything, but I'm gonna go with the fact that everybody can't be making this decision just because. There has to be a little more to it. So it should be a red flag. I'm glad that they posted that, because to me, it just makes me more confident in why I chose to do what I did. And
all right, well, hold up now. Now let me.
He would just speed past that.
Now, now the numbers are about. They say they says officials say 84% of state workers are fully vaccinated. So there is a small number, but there is still a number that will be people losing their jobs. So So you said it makes you feel confident because people of a knowledgeable stance are taking a stand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Dennis Rodman was a hell of a basketball player, wasn't he?
Okay.
Would you let that motherfucker babysit your kids?
Nope.
Would you take any sort of advice from him on? He was a rebounder, but would you let him teach you how to shoot?
Nope.
So that don't mean all doctors like shit. You just because you're a doctor don't mean you the doctor.
Absolutely. But I will tell you this: if you take 10 of them, one of them got to know what they're talking about.
No. Yo, just come on over here, yo. Yo, I got a kid in the house, yo. I got a kid in the room, yo. I give you a shot, yo. You can trust me.
Damn. Shit, that's the shot that they gave you. The one that they had in the motherfucker had in his pocket. Had in his pocket, wiped some lint off of it and said, oh, damn, I got one more left.
She did, yo, she did go in that lady drawer. She was like, damn, I'm out. She said, go in Susie drawer. What she got in there? Yo, she just opened the drawer and pulled something out that motherfucker. Like, boop. I was like,
oh, shit.
Yo,
you know what I'm saying?
Yo, I swear, yo, that's what happened, yo. I swear. She was like, I ain't got no more shots. She said, look in Susie drawer, see if she got one. She said, yeah, here you go.
Yes.
God damn. You know, put that motherfucker in there.
Like shit. At the first part, I'm like, hold up, who the fuck is Susie?
Yo.
And what the fuck she got in her drawer that you really think you gonna poke me with?
Yeah.
Fuck all that.
They grabbed my ass with that shit quick.
But this just put a lot of people in fucked up positions, though, man. Mm-hmm. If you don't agree with it, and they gonna just take away your livelihood, like you know what I mean? It's like, and that's the way they know they can get people. If you threaten, oh shit, all right, you ain't got to be vaccinated, but you won't work here. You has to be unvaccinated, homeless, some motherfucking way.
Now, my question about that is, if you get fired because you don't get vaccinated, but you have your years in, will they allow you to pull your money out? Oh, if you made enough time, will they allow you to take your money out? I know you'll get unemployment, but will they allow you to pull your money out? Because if they will, then that may not be as bad as people think it is. See, sometimes good things come out of bad situations.
It's not bad right now. Long term, like if you start working,
it ain't gonna be long. It ain't gonna be long. It ain't gonna take that long. See, again, I just think this is a scare tactic. I could be wrong. I'll be 100% wrong. But I will tell you this. I sincerely believe when this is all said and done, you're gonna see lawsuits like crazy. I think
only if you don't quit.
Huh? Only if you don't quit. Yeah, if you don't quit. I think it's gonna be a lot of lawsuits out here.
Well, I'm having a good time tonight. I'm glad you fellas is here. And since the ladies are not here, I feel comfortable in having this next discussion and playing this next video. I had it on the list last week.
That's what this sounds like, one of them.
Yeah. Hey. Let me see. So I was about to play this last week, but we ran out of time. So y'all know the 85 South podcast. That's with dang, I forgot the nigga name.
What is that? The one DC Young Fly?
Yeah, DC Young Fly and them. That's their joint. So it was a young lady on there giving some advice that I had never heard before. I just let her explain.
You gotta have desire, arousal, orgasm, and then refractory period. It's 4 parts, right? But desire and arousal look so similar for women. Like, they nipples hard, they wet, and so you're like, oh, she ready for this dick. But that she still just desires the dick. Just because her body responding in certain ways, it's not into this, it's completely swollen and doo-doo. You know, when your pussy start getting that heartbeat and it's really going. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. And so that's when the pussy ready. That's when the pussy ready. But for y'all did get hard and y'all like, all right, it's time. No, it's different times. Women need like 18 to 40 minutes to be fully aroused. You just turn on 85 South show, and when the episode go off, then you can stick the dick in.
18 to 40 minutes?
18 to 40 minutes. For y'all too. That's why some of y'all nuts be so weak.
So I know not nobody in this room has 18 to 40 minutes. So everybody in the world has been having sex wrong. Are y'all foreplaying wrong?
Obviously, 18.
I know you're a
minutes.
savage. You don't count.
You said what?
You don't even let her get her goddamn shirt off. Like she just.
Fuck, she gotta take her shirt off for?
See, there it is. I know it, yo. No, it.
If she take her shirt off, that make her think she's staying.
She said she can't even kick her shoes off. Yo, 18 to 40 minutes. Is she?
So a friend of mine sent that to me, and when I thought about it, I said, "Damn, you know what? I think I can agree with that." But what I told her was, see, there's a difference between men and women when it comes to that. See, a woman can sit there and marinate and get herself together. We got a time limit on our dick being hard. I'm gonna speak for myself. I ain't gonna be sitting there all long and shit, looking crazy, just hoping. All right, I guess you're ready now. Is it done yet? Is it time yet?
Is it done yet?
Yeah, looking at my watch counting down. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
I don't even want to do it no more.
Yeah, that's a distraction right there. Like you said, after a while, you like, fuck. My homeboy ain't even with it no more. Let's roll out.
But I don't think women believe that blue balls is real.
Yeah, it's real.
It's real.
Yeah.
Like 18 to 40 minutes, like I'm going to die. Like I'm going, like, what? No.
And by the way, women, just since we having this conversation, I don't want y'all to think that it's a one-sided foreplay thing either, because in that 18-40 minutes, you got work to do. Yeah. It's not like we doing all the work. So if that's how y'all feel, you need to be making sure that you got your shit up to par too.
Look,
Yeah,
I agree. In that 18 to 40 minutes, you need to be doing something else. You need to be exercising your jaws or the muscles in your hands. Y'all like to use the little stress things. You don't squeeze, but you can work your wrists or something. Like you can be doing something.
Yeah,
exactly.
Get active.
But it's a lot of females that out there that believe that, like she was just saying, your dick get hard and you just ready to stick it in. But like, you gotta make my dick get hard. It ain't just like because I see you. I mean, not unless
I believe some women out there are so nice. They are like, it's a new breed of woman out here. Instagram got y'all fucked up. It is a new breed of woman out there that really thinks like, as soon as I walk into the room, like he on fire. Like negative.
Yeah,
ain't no difference from you and that Instagram model that I just flipped. Like, after a while, all the bodies look the same. Truth be told, it takes a little bit more than that.
Yeah, it's I gotta agree with the fact that men generally just don't look at it like that. And see, we can't have that conversation, because if we have that conversation, we more than likely the man is going to be offended, because we feel like we know how a woman is supposed to be loved or sexed or whatever. Mm-hmm. And the woman is going to be upset because she feel like she shouldn't have had to tell you, not realizing that, I mean, we can only move off of our experiences. Our experiences haven't been, 18 to 40 minutes of our baking.
Exactly.
But that's a long time. You really think that's like a episode with no commercials of your favorite hour-long show, like
right?
Shit, I just watched.
What's the longest you've ever? What's the longest y'all have ever had foreplay?
I don't know. I normally watch.
I don't even count.
What the fuck? What did he say?
I watch Rick and Morty while it's going on. That way I can put my mind somewhere else. Rick and Morty, a Family Guy.
Well,
I'll be kind of laughing a little bit.
That's a good way to watch the time, though. That's a good way to keep. Oh, real talk. Y'all ain't never really been, because at one point in time, all women say, "Well, you can't last long." So y'all ain't never looked at the clock beforehand and then checked it out again afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, so break
5 minutes of violence. 5 minutes of violence. That's all I got.
5 minutes of violence.
Violence, baby. Okay. Here we Yo, 5 minutes of violence. I like that. We gotta put that on the shirt. 5 minutes of violence.
Right. That's definitely a shirt right there.
5 minutes of violence. I don't know. I mean, but back in the day when you was younger, I mean, that's all you had was foreplay. So I guess the best sex we probably were giving out was when we was teenagers. Because all you was doing was pants rubbing and shit for 40 minutes. And if you end up getting lucky after that, then you just got lucky. Other than that, you went home with the blues.
Cramped ass fingers and shit, trying to get down the front of the jeans. And that shit was horrible.
Belt and she making you do everything.
Yeah, that shit was horrible.
It's a different world, man. But I'll tell you, women different now. Shit. Women are today.
Yes, they are.
They gonna be ready to go before you are. You're like, hold on, wait a minute. You know what I mean? You know the Pac joint where he be like, hate to sound sleazy, but tease me. That's how I be. No, hold on for a second. Wait a minute.
You're right.
I don't want to get ass naked right now, yo. Can we talk for a second or something, yo?
Right. And shit, just like back in the day, yo. Females wasn't just voluntary head back in the day. You had to be smooth to get head from a chick back in the day. You had to convince them of the shit and all that. Nowadays, while you trying to put your game on, the bitch is zipping the zipper down and shit. Like, come on,
they ready.
You like, oh.
She said you gonna earn these 28.8 acres. You gonna earn that. You gonna earn them 28 acres, baby. Well, good luck, ladies.
Different breeds.
Yeah, set the clock. Ladies out there, y'all let us know how that works out for you. I mean, ladies in the comment, let us know. 18 to 40 minutes. Is this new news to you? Did you know? And if you knew, why you never said nothing? Don't we always say that on here? Communication is the key to any good relationship. So if it took you 18 to 40 minutes to get ready, and I only gave it 3 1/4, I think you should say something. That means you haven't been happy in a long time. What Linnea say? Why do I see women tugging and pulling on dudes' pants? Yeah, women they giving out the 5 minutes of violence.
Yeah.
All right, so I got another one. I'm not sure how this one is going to go over, but I saw this video also.
Okay, yeah, I'm this and I got this degree and this degree, but I have weave. I wouldn't be able to tolerate that because see, you got to take it off. Just like I got to take off the eyelashes. That's not for me. I mean, for my wife, I just can't take it. But it looks good.
Let me just be clear. So you don't like anything that's not natural?
No.
That's just you.
That's just me. That's
but
my
don't
opinion.
You see how, as men, we contribute to what women are doing, right?
I mean, I see what you're doing, and some of it looks good, but for most of the sisters, you don't need that in your head. Just take it out.
Well, she said it's going to be in no matter what.
Yeah.
You said you're going to have a weave no matter what.
No matter what, I'm going to have a weave.
Maybe so, but it don't match downstairs either. So you need to just make it all the one way.
It don't match downstairs.
No, the carpet don't match the drapes. That's what I'm saying. That right there is what it is. But I'm saying to you, you don't need that because here's what would happen with most men. And I'm just gonna be honest because it's an honest show, right?
Yeah.
Here's the deal. This is the deal. What I'm trying to explain to you, sister, is this: if you was to take that off, if you take that off, guess what? I pay more attention to your face.
I bet you would.
Yes, I would.
I bet you would.
I wouldn't even look at all because that gets in the way.
No, it doesn't.
All right,
because I can't take it to the pool.
I guarantee you'll be looking elsewhere.
I'll pay more attention to your face.
Dwayne, thank you. Obviously, any other gentlemen have any comments? You guys?
So I noticed a lot of things in that video. Number one, the biggest thing that stood out to me in that video was the lack of confidence that woman had in herself.
Yeah.
Like that was like when I watched it, like that was the biggest thing that stood out to me was the lack of confidence she had in herself. Like none. It was it was in the negative numbers, her confidence in herself, without all the aesthetics to enhance her outer look.
So me personally, I'm not big on weave or wigs either. I like a woman who is comfortable in her own hair. I don't care if it's
You can.
It needs to be. I don't want to be like a sheep's ass. You walk around the back and you look at that motherfucker. I don't know if y'all seen that little meme where the dude get the hot comb on his neck and he turn around because she burned the back of his neck. Yo, that shit funny. But I don't want it to be like that. You can't have no little buckshots look like doll's hair on the back of your neck. I can't handle that. But
no pubes on your neck.
But otherwise, I think that a woman that is confident with her own hair is so attractive to me. I don't care how long it is, how short it is. I don't care, if it's not quite the way that you want it to be. Mm-hmm. It is something about the confidence of a woman who is comfortable with, like, you know what, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna brush this little bit of hair, or I'm gonna comb this hair, or I'm gonna, put something in it, make it smell good. And that's another thing. Like, women with natural hair, whatever their natural hair is, for some reason, their hair gives off a different type of smell. There's a different chemistry that comes from them than what I've experienced with women who have weaves or wigs. To each his own. And I'm with that brother. Like, listen, if that's what you feel like you need to do, that's what you need to do. But for me and my wife, what I would want her to have, I would want her to just wear her own natural hair, because I love you. I don't love the extras. Like, that's not why we dealing with each other. Now, granted, like she said, like the sister said, if I didn't have this weave in, you wouldn't even pay me no attention. And I really believe a lot of women subconsciously believe that they need to have these things to get a level of attention. Now, I know a lot of them say, well, I don't get it to get attention. Please.
Yeah. But ain't that some shit? They walk around with fake hair, fake eyelashes, and fake boobs, fake ass. They get the stomach done, all in search for a real nigga.
Real nigga. Want me a real nigga.
Yeah.
A real nigga.
They said another gave you niggas money.
You ain't lying.
Yeah.
But
my thing was always makeup. Like, well, I like the natural hair, but like, I don't like a lot of makeup. Like,
me neither.
Yeah.
Me neither.
I just can't do it. Like, and not to say that it doesn't look nice, on women that do it, but it was never like Shannon wear makeup now occasionally. She don't never overdo it, and she looks nice when she does put it on. But she know, like, it's not my, like, I don't need it, And of course, with women, I think the first thing I believe a woman would say is, well, we don't do it for y'all, we do it for us. Yeah, fuck that. That's a lie.
Yeah, it is.
Definitely is.
That's a lie. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not a makeup guy. We got to.
I think you should do whatever makes you happy at the end of the day. But I also think that you should try to stay as natural as possible if you can. I mean, if you don't want to, that's totally up to you. I just think that women are so pretty, without doing all the extra things. It's the simple things. One of the things we talked about when I had that conversation at my house. Oh, you know what? I don't think I talked about it with you guys. I might have been talking to somebody else. I really think that the confusion is men think that they know what women want and turn them on, and women think they know what men want and will turn them on. And truth be told, though, neither one of us know shit, because both of us doing it wrong. We all doing the shit wrong, and nobody wants to talk and have a discussion and be willing to accept what the person has said. If you ask somebody a question and they answer the question honestly, why do you have to argue about it? You asked me a question, I told you my answer and how I feel about it. Why are you gonna say, but this is what I want to do? This is what such and such. But you asked me, what do I feel about X, Y, and Z? I just told you. I asked you a question and you respond. I have to be willing to accept whatever it is that you say. Well, I don't like when you had your beard long. Okay. All right. Well, if we together, I'll be willing to cut it down, cut it off. If that's what if that's what we need to do to move forward in our relationship. But when a man says that to a woman, she takes it as a personal attack on her character. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying to you is, you're so much better without that. And I agree with what the white guy said. Men perpetuate that though. Like, what is it that we see guys pay the most attention to? It's the women that have the longer hair, the fairer skin. A lot of times, I think that we've changed over time slightly, but the fairer skin, small waist, fat asses, big breasts, tight skin. That's what men seem to gravitate more to. So that's what you see women doing. They just filling in that image, that idea, that ideal
And that's crazy that the fact that other people look at you a certain way give you that confidence, because no matter how much makeup you put on, no matter how good you get your weave done or the wig that you have on, like at the end of the day, you go home, take that shit off, you still got to deal with you. You know how you really look under that shit. So whether this person like you with that shit on or not, I mean, you got to find a ways to love yourself. So that, you know what I mean, with or without that shit, you feel comfortable and secure. Because, like I said, that's only for the outside. That's just like motherfuckers that have nice cars. They get nice cars to attract people, but when they go home, they buy themselves in their mother basement, miserable as shit. But they got so much attention while they was out the night in that nice car, but now you got to face yourself. When you go home,
even take the fucking car in the club, though. You gotta be the first one to run outside and then pull up to the front, and then
that's why most motherfuckers
stand there and shit.
That's why a lot of motherfuckers start just going to let outs. They don't even go to the club; they just go to the let outs. But then when you go home and lay down on that pissy mattress in your mother basement, you still gotta think about your life. Like, yeah, they like me out there, but look where I'm at.
Yeah.
And I've known people like that. Lexus rims on it, living in their mother basement, pissy as shit. It's like I've known people like that. But as long as they can get up and go hop in that car, they feel good about themselves.
Yep. It's an image. And truth be told, we've been living in a social media world for a long time now. Now it's just digital and everybody can see it. But before, we experienced these people many years ago. We've gone to clubs with many people. We've seen them popping bottles and shit. They go home and, like you said, go lay on that pissy mattress in their mother basement because they went to the club and had a good time. But in reality, man, they crying and dying inside because they alone. They really don't have no real bread. That money that they spent was really rent money they're supposed to pay their mother or, car note money or whatever the case might have been. Shit, they might have even got a little bit of trim real quick in the car. But it's a sad situation, but everybody trying to impress somebody else and don't even understand, man. You know what? You know what's really crazy? The woman that you really want is going to be impressed with you without even having to do anything. And the man that women really want is going to be he's going to be impressed with you without you wearing all of that shit. That's the reality of it. If a guy wants you because aesthetically you had that slick ass wig with the finger waves in it, and you had your hoop earrings in, and your what the fuck was they wearing back then? K-Swiss and shit, and
5411,
right with the slouch socks, and that's what he was attracted to. He really didn't care about you. He cared about how you looked. He was looking for an appearance, and he got that appearance. And more often than not, the guys that were attracted to you because of that didn't stay around. They're not in your life today.
Right.
You can't even have fun. Like, we going on vacation, you got 50 pounds of makeup, ain't no real, like, we can't go swimming. We can't ride no roller coasters.
Man, I had a girl come to my house, and I woke up the next morning, yo. It was so much mud on my damn sheets and on my pillow. I ain't know what to do with myself, man. I just ball that shit up and throw it away. Yo. I'm like, yo, that's crazy, yo. Like, you took away from the experience. You ain't never come over here no more.
All that damn makeup on, and they be the first one to call somebody a clown.
Right. Like,
did you look in the mirror?
Bruh. Clown ass nigga. Dang.
Oh boy. Well, I had fun today. I had one more video, but I think it's going to take us over the top. So I'll hold that for next week. Was there anything that you guys wanted to expound on that we talked about tonight, or make any clarifications on?
Nah. Hey, Nels, call in, yo. Call in, Nels. Put the number up so Nels can call in real quick.
Yeah, I'm put in a rough situation. What y'all think I should do?
Don't ask me.
I know what you gonna say.
Let the professor tell you. I already cowered underneath. It ain't even take long. All they had to do was say my name, and I was like, "Yep."
Hey yo, hey Mike, can you play that? Are you able to play that joint? That Instagram joint I sent you right now?
The one we were talking about earlier?
Farrakhan joint. The one I just told you. I sent it to you a few minutes ago. But only part I want you to play, I don't know if you're able to forward it. I just want you to play what Farrakhan had to say at the end, at the very end. But
that was that New York Post joint?
Yeah.
Is that the picture of it? Look.
Yeah. That's it. So, Mac, man, you got to make what's the best. You make the best decision for your family. Whatever you feel like you need to do for your family, that's what you do. If you know that you don't want to put that kind of pressure on your wife, yo, and you are in a position to be without a job, or you don't have anything else that's bringing in income that you can live off of and maintain at least a minimal lifestyle where you are right now, then you gotta do what's best for your family, yo. Plain and simple. I mean, that's as simple as it is.
She make enough money to hold these bills down. Plus, I'm gonna just start selling grams of dope.
Yeah, because you ain't gonna
stay with fuck with me.
Yeah, they ain't nothing gonna happen.
Shit, you already know what she said, LB. She already got called.
Caller, you there? I hit the wrong. Either they hung up or I hit the wrong button.
LB, she wasn't worried about. She did this way before the job said something.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, but you gotta think about it, man. It's like I don't know. My whole thing about is like, yo, don't force me into no shit, yo. It's just like they taking your rights away, the freedom of choice, you know, and like the HIPAA law then went out the window now. Right. Now they can actually ask you for proof and shit. They used to couldn't do that.
Yep. And there's so many different videos circulating about the direction of this vaccination scenario. There's so many videos. There's so many people.
Oh, we got a call.
Nels.
What's up, Nels? Turn your background down. We had a little bit of echo. What's going on, brother? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm trying to get this thing. You.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
What's going on, fellas?
Not much. Appreciate
What's
you.
going on,
So what you think about tonight? What you got? You had a lot. You kept the IG live room going. We appreciate that. So now you get to kind of express yourself all the way live and tell the professor how fucked up he is. So I'm going to let you go ahead and do that.
It's not more so that he fucked up. I mean, he's entitled to his opinion, even if it might not work. But no, basically what I was saying is like, so on that particular topic, we've been the criminal justice system has been arresting these small-time crimes for years. Petty crimes, is what they call them, petty crimes. Nickel and dime crimes. These people are revolving doors in and out the jail system. We wind up wasting money. They beating their charges. You know what I mean? And they basically done wasted money and lawyers' fees, paying the judge, everybody, you know, because the guy keeps coming around and they spending money and then they don't get anything out of it. So what's the point of prosecuting those crimes that's going to still be going on and still be revolving around the same people that's dealing with it? You know, if we can take this money and take this effort and concentrate on something else, if that's their plan. I didn't get the whole detail of what their plan is, but I can understand them walk through crimes, getting them out the way because they're wasting time.
So
you know,
I feel like when you let small things go, they just become bigger issues. I mean, if you allow a crack to sit there long enough, it becomes a hole, and that's just the nature of life.
But onto what you're saying, sorry to cut you off, but what you're saying is repair that crack, right?
Right.
It's not just let the crack stay there. We ain't gonna do nothing with it. We're just gonna let it stay there. You're gonna repair it, right? You're gonna find something to fill that void that crack has, right?
Right.
But they're not talking about doing that. They don't have anything for it. So it's gonna still continue. The same crack that's been there 30 years when I was outside is the same crack that's there now.
Mm-hmm.
And they were arresting petty crimes then. So what? How is it any different now? Because that crack became a gaping hole. So where's the harm in
how do
saying
you?
let's find out the source of the crack? Let's work at the source of the crack instead of keep concentrating at the end result of the crack that might come back anyway.
Yeah, see, that's what I was about to say. So if we already have a hole, how do we kind of double back now to hit the reset if the hole is already there?
But that's where you focus that time and that energy that you was sitting on a corner in a scorecard, watching these little petty $5 boys instead of actually putting a real investigation against those that are higher up. If that's what you're doing, and concentrating that issue there. There's going to always be somebody to replace that lowest man on the totem pole. You know what I'm saying? And that low man is going to always want to climb up the ladder, regardless of how hard you prosecute it. Because at the end of the day, they got that hunt for that money in that respect. So either end of it is still that vacuum is not going to stop.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to take something out, take out where it's worth it and not the shit that's going to still be there. In a chess game, how many pawns you got? You only got two kings and two queens. At the end of the day, yes, a pawn is going to wind up replacing it, but you're going to keep having endless amounts of pawns. So why am I going to keep concentrating on that when I can go after these rooks, these bishops, and these knights now and kind of get that out of the way to get me on my way to the king?
All right. Well, like I said, we have to like Marilyn Mosby and Brandon Scott, they all said, we have to give it time. Some people will take the stance to say, does Baltimore have any more time to give? But at this point, something has to be done. And we have to kind of just see how the chips fall. I don't, no matter what y'all say, I don't really think it can get worse. I mean, truth be told,
it can definitely be worse, but
yeah, it can. But I mean, I don't know. I'm still gonna stand on all the owners can't fall on Mosby, Scott. Not the community has to have some sort of involvement, no matter what the fear is. Of course, if you're just renting, of course, then you really don't have an investment. But if you actually living here and you've been living in this neighborhood for years, and this is your neighbor, this is your community. Fuck neighborhoods. This is your community. We need to get communities back. So let's just see how it plays out. What else you want to speak on?
But that was where my heat was on. That was all.
Oh yeah, it definitely was. Definitely was.
Because I was one of those kids, man. I was a nuisance. I'll go with that. You know what I mean? And I tell people all the time how I grew up was dumb. But it's the whole point of once you get a little older and you understand certain things, then you see certain shit. But we had a different respect because we respected our community. Our community was our elders, and even though we was doing our dirt, we wasn't as blatant as these kids are today. These kids are off the hook, and it's definitely just more than that lack of respect. Or just out here trying to chase paper. They feel like it's a rite of passage. This is the things that they're supposed to do because if you don't come from the right household, you don't really know your options. Yeah, it's out there, but if you're not taught a certain way, you're not looking for it. You're looking at what's led by example, what you see when you walk out your door every day. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these kids don't think besides sports, I can go out here and go to college. I can go out here and, be some type of engineer or learn some type of real trade if that's not already something that's in their household. You know what I mean? So the community itself has to come back together. We have to lay a level of respect all the way around the board and to push our kids, man. A lot of times, those parents or those knucklehead kids are kind of knuckleheads themselves and don't teach their kids work ethic and how to earn certain things. Everything is supposed to be given to them right now for nothing. Oh, I go to school and I'm getting D's. Here go these $200 Jordans. Here go this $1,000 iPhone. You don't deserve that. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't keeping up on your end of the bargain. And these parents don't push that. We had a community before where as though Miss Ethel down the street could say something to you, but now your mother cussing them out. So if she don't have respect for the neighbor, how are you going to have respect for him as a child? You know what I mean? And it all that shit just trickled down and trickled down and trickled down to where we are right now.
I say if Marilyn Mosby and if they're gonna take the high level, then it would be the community's job to grab the low level, the kids that can be reached. So if you're knocking off the top, if you're knocking off the head, then as they kind of figuring out what to do, that's when you kind of go in and scoop them up, and then we might be able to make this whole thing
Right, meet in the middle.
Yep. Scoop them
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. You got to find the ones that want to learn, that want to escape, and the ones that you can garner a respectful relationship with. Get them away from their peers first to connect with them, and then if they strong enough, have them reach out to their peers. But if when they're in that pack mentality and you a clown, they don't want to talk to you. Yo, go ahead, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's all in how you approach and connect with them.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I appreciate you for standing up and letting certain people know that they just wrong. Like, I mean, that's just the only. That's I know what you're saying, but they're just wrong. I mean, that's all it is. It's just one word, wrong. Period. Like that's it. And I definitely appreciate that. If nothing else today, and for you tuning in, and hopefully we can set a date up. Like I said, it wasn't just talk when I saw you up at the professor's house. I definitely want to have you on. Like I said, intelligent brother, funny, and we both have a taste that is not good about the professor. Like he's just wrong. Like his fucking beard all shining, the light in the back. Like, I don't like nothing about it right now. All right. I do got the video queued up, so appreciate you for calling in, Nels. We're gonna put it all together. Definitely appreciate the support that you and keeping the room live tonight. Thank you, sir.
No problem, brother. No problem at all.
All right, have a good one, man.
You too.
All right, I got your clip, Professor. I got it right where you need it. So now I'm hoping, because we about to do it a different way, that just let me know if y'all don't hear the volume when I play it.
Do you believe that Satan is concerned about vaccinating you about this thing here? Come on, brothers and sisters. You trust him. After all that he's done to destroy us, you trust him. And your trust is sickening because you love your enemy and you hate yourself and your friend. How could you allow him to stick a needle into you saying he's helping you?
All you scared to death Negroes.
Yeah. That little part right there, when I saw that little part, all I was thinking to myself is that last little piece when he was like, yo, how could you? That's all I kept saying in my mind. Like, yo, how could you do that? Now, again, it's all circumstantial to me. It depends on what your scenario is, because that's easy to say when you don't have children. It's easy to say when you don't have a wife. It's easy to say when you don't have all of these people that's depending on you to make decisions that's not only self-centered but family-centered. So it's easy for a person to say. But if you're in that scenario, what do you do then? That's the real question. So for me, because it's just me and Carlos in here, I'll put Carlos out there on the strip and have his little ass selling a little butt out there. and I go ahead and I'll move in a little Roche Motel if I had to, right? For a little bit of time and sell them grams because I'm good. But if you got a family, you can't do that. You can't do that. You gotta make a decision that makes sense for your entire family, regardless of how anybody else feel about it. You gotta do what's best for your family, and that makes sense. My thing about it is there are people who have made decisions just based off of fear. They can call it whatever they want to call it, but they made a decision only because they were afraid, and that was it. And I had this conversation And all I kept hearing in this conversation from this person was, yo, the good old white man then came up with an idea to do something for us, and we got to listen to what boss say, because boss say that this is going to work for us, and you know, you need to get along with it too, because you don't want boss to come in here and whip you now. That's all I kept hearing in my mind. That's all I heard him say, and I'm saying to myself, you know what? There's a reason why at a certain point you don't really see any old lions, because the younger lions wind up getting rid of the older lions. They wind up eating them, or the old lion go off and die by itself, because there's something about his growl, or something about his bite, or something about his scent that's no longer strong anymore. Sometimes his fangs have been filed down because he's eaten too much, and he's been involved in too many different things. And some of these older people that I've seen, their fangs have been filed down to a flat tooth, and they no longer have that fight in them. They no longer have that keen eyesight where they say this shit ain't right. I'm not biting into it. I'm not dealing with this. They've become docile. They've become more compliant in things. The same person that you might have saw 20 years ago standing out there talking about, no, we ain't going for that. That's the same person that say, come on, boss, what you want me to do? You want me to put shoes on your feet, boss? Come on, put your foot up here. You know, that's the same mentality you say. And I see it in my job all the time. Supervisors coming in and they got all these big ideas. We're going to change the world. We're going to make this happen. We're going to make sure that it's shaped up. We're going to be in a good place, and we're going to do all these big things. By year number 3, they're like, man, I don't care. Go on out there and just get them papers together and shit. They go to these meetings. Their supervisors say, I want you to have 4,000 papers on my desk by 11 o'clock, and it's 10 o'clock right now. And they, yes, sir. Yeah, I'm going to do it. And they know they can't do the shit. They don't even want to say nothing no more, because they done got their ass whipped so many times in meetings that now they're just compliant. And I feel like that's what's happening to people, man. So many times we've been under the gun and it just didn't work in our favor that now we don't even want to argue. Just like, all right, cool.
Mac, what's on your mind?
This bullshit. Yeah, I just don't like how it's just like they forcing you on this shit, man. It's just like it's a violation. I just say, man, you just gotta find your place in this new normal bullshit. You know, it's definitely gonna be some shit that you're gonna have to learn and maneuver through, because this shit ain't gonna get no better, man. This shit is not gonna get no better, and especially the closer they get to their ultimate plan, it's gonna be horrible. But just live your life, man. I mean, you don't know how much longer you got out here. Live your life every day. Make every day the first day of the rest of your life, but live it like it's your last.
Yeah, I ain't lying, brother. We appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight. I tell you what, coming up, we got guests almost the whole month of October. One of our favorite guests is coming on October the 5th. So next Tuesday, Jiggy Piff will be here. On the 12th, we got 2 guests, 2 entrepreneurs. We got on the 12th, we got Linnea. So Linnea will be on helping us co-host. Linnea will be on the 12th. On the 19th, we got 2 guests. We got James Dickey, chef, author, photographer. He'll be on. We also have who was on? Also, Crystal, Tennessee, owner of. She has her own beauty supply store. I think she has 2 of them now. She'll be on with James, and then I believe the 26th we have a brother who started his own Black-owned crowdfunding website. So he'll be on there. So October's gonna be a good month, and then we're gonna have Nels come. We're gonna set a date up with Nels. I ain't seen Herb. We're gonna have Herb on here. We're gonna be lit. So we appreciate everybody for tuning in. Don't forget to keep letting us know about some other Black businesses out there. The holidays are here. We want to try to help them generate and get a piece of that black dollar. And all I have is this aluminum foil. So we just gonna make it do what it do. The only way I feel to end the show tonight is with some Jiggy Piff. The whole show, especially as I was playing at Farrakhan, all I heard was Noose.
Yeah,
so I want to hit Noose on the way out.
That's my shit.
Mine too. Mine too.
Yeah, that'll get us lined up for Jiggy next week. So we see y'all next Tuesday, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Make sure you go subscribe to our YouTube. Hit your notifications so you know when we coming on air. Tell a friend to tell a friend about the Cooley and the Gang Show.
You are tuned in to the Cooley and the Gang Show on Blockworks Radio.
They screaming black and I'm proud, but they ain't proud enough. I look them right in their souls and they ain't loud enough. Greet them with a hug and a smile, they still gon' frown at us. How we supposed to sink or swim when they keep drowning us? My mama tell me she worried, they see the crown on us. Even though we built that pedestal, they look down on us. Saw me as a threat with my wallet, now they surrounding us, surrounding us, surrounding us. Young king, supposed to run things, shake these leg weights. One thing led to